right and being compassionate and nice to yourself. If you're nice to the rest of the world, you need to be nicest to yourself.
Absolutely. And I'd like to ask you, how's your daughter doing these days?
Wow, that's an interesting question. um,
Mm-hmm.
Look, my daughter is now my best friend in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk or text or multiple times a day. She and our grandson have just moved back in with us for a while. We're not quite sure how long, but it's actually lovely to have her here and to experience a lot of the healing that she has gone through. So she is a champion of self-development and self-learning and therapy, and I am in awe of the woman that my daughter is becoming. And I take pride in part of that because when after the abuse and the fallout and the horror of that time, the one thing I decided was I was going to love her unconditionally, no matter what she did, no matter what she said. And as a nurse, I knew statistically that the odds weren't good of her getting through adulthood unscathed because of what she'd been through. Statistically speaking, drug abuse, alcoholism, promiscuity, all of those things are attached to sexual abuse, and I knew all of that. But I decided that I was going to love her unconditionally, and we've done that. I've done that, and to see how she's going now is mind-blowingly beautiful, and I am grateful for that decision that I made. And so loving her unconditionally through cocaine habit, numerous suicide attempts, real deep struggles with mental health, a baby out of wedlock, etc., etc., etc. But she's still here, and she's going really well, and we have the most amazing 3-year-old grandson who is the delight of our life.
Oh, I'm glad you had this time with her. So she's
Yeah,
there staying with you. And we were before our call here, you were telling me about your beautiful property. I know that, not to change the subject, but I'm sure my listeners out there would be interested in what you just.
Oh, look, I love to talk about my animals.
Oh.
So we have 7 goats, all of which who are named. So there's Champers, our only girl, and Whiskey, Snoopy, Cuddles, Sunny, Rocco, and Jasper. And we have 2 llamas, and their names are Avocado and Moche. And in talking about the grandson, I have to let you know that he's spent so much time on our property with the animals that he can walk up underneath the llama's legs, he can tickle their bellies, he can ride on the goats, and he's perfectly comfortable. And from my background with depression and anxiety, I can tell you that all I have to do is walk down and cuddle Jasper, our white Angora goat, and life is better, and the world is a wonderful place. And having the space around me and having the country air, they're all things that have helped in my own healing process, and having those things in my life gives me the resilience that I need to do what I need to do.
It sounds lovely. So how are you, where's the closest city? Like, it sounds like you're in a pretty rural area. I can't help us. Yeah.
You know what? So the capital of Queensland, Australia, is Brisbane. So some of your listeners might be familiar with Brisbane. So Brisbane's an hour away. Sydney is a 2-hour flight away. We are about 12 minutes from Burleigh Heads Beach, which is on the southern end of the Gold Coast. We're about an hour from Byron Bay, so that's where people like Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth hang out. So we're about an hour from them, and we live in a beautiful valley. So the beach is on one side of us and the mountains are on the other side of us, and our property borders a beautiful creek that empties out into the sea at one of the most popular estuary beach areas on the Gold Coast. So very privileged to live here, and appreciative that I get to have this wonderful life with my animals and still get to go to the beach, and my husband surfs. So, yeah.
That sounds so nice. Can I come visit one day? That sounds so lovely.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
We love visitors. We often get people drive by, see the goats and the llamas and stop and say, can we pet the llamas? And yes, so we do.
I agree. You know, I think being part of, we're humans, we're really connected. We're still of the earth, you know, and connecting to nature and animals. There is definitely a healing quality. I love my animals. I just have a couple of cats right now, but I was sharing with you earlier, I used to, up in the state of Washington, I had some sheep and chickens and all of my flowers and my gardens and mountains.
My magnolias are all flowering. They're all devoid of leaves, of course, because it's winter, but they're all flowering and coming into flower, and they have the most magnificent perfume this year. It's really beautiful.
Very nice. You're such a delight, and we are going to run out of time super quick. So I want to make let's make sure people know how to visit you on social media. I want them to know about, yes, go ahead.
The best place to go to see what I'm up to, read my blogs, get my book, listen to my podcast, listen to my radio show is ToniLontis.com. So that's ToniLontis.com. And it's got everything you need to know. You can contact me directly. I love to have feedback. I love to talk to people, and often people contact me with guests for the radio show. So that's another way you can find out about my radio show, Radio Toni, which is on the Women for Women network, broadcast across the world.
Awesome. And now your book, Whole Again, do you have a publishing date? Is that coming out soon or still very
I am still writing that. I am hoping that this time, I'm hoping to be finished at the end of the year, so publish early next year. That's my aim at the moment.
Okay. Well, I know I'm going to get that 2-minute warning any second now. So with just the short bit of time we have.
I would be lost without my technician telling me you've got 2 minutes, you've got 1 minute, because you get talking to people, and it is such a lovely experience connecting with others and talking about life in general. It's wonderful.
It really is. Now I really feel like I have a new friend there in Australia, and I'd love to talk more, and we'll have to stay in touch. Yeah.
Anytime you want to come, you've got my details. Just let me know. It's a beautiful part of the world. Another bit of trivia for you: Dora the Explorer was filmed just up the road from our property. So if you have any listeners that are into kids' movies, just a bit of trivia for you.
Well, how fun. I have a 21-year-old daughter, Amy. When she was just a little tyke, she loved Dora the Explorer. Loved the cartoon. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Well, we have gotten that infamous 2-minute warning. So maybe, if you could, to our women listeners, our listeners out there, and maybe a sentence or two, what would you like to part us with here? Your wisdom from Australia. What would you like to share with us?
I would just like to tell everyone that's listening to your wonderful podcast, please keep listening to Deb and her podcast, and that it doesn't take much to be and live courageously. All you have to do is take one little step in that direction, and before you know it, you'll discover a strength and courageousness that will inspire you to just keep going.
Well, that's perfect. I think we'll end there. And this has been Toni Lontis. And Toni, thank you for spending your time with us. Now you can go back to bed. I know it's in the middle of the night for you. So now you can go night-night. So I wish you good night and sweet dreams to you. And we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Deb. It's been lovely chatting to you. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you. And everyone out there, thank you for joining us. My name is Debbie DePietro. And just to remind you, I have a beautiful book out myself. It is called Short Morning Prayers, a collection of heartfelt prayers to start your day, available on Amazon. If you live here in the southeast part of the United States, the Cracker Barrel stores you see off of the interstate highways, it's available in Hallmark stores and various outlets. So check it out. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. And ladies, until next time, remember this, it's our time to shine. Let's make it so and courageously go.